used to be
Hi
a
guys, it's
huntsman
Cal
in
from
the
Dirty
hills.
Weasel, and today we're going to be covering a mod called Combat Evolved by Crush Boss. One of the problems that Skyrim's always had is that the vanilla combat is pretty dull. Even with some of the updates like I use, which is Skyri, the enemy AI has been upgraded and it's a lot smarter and the damage is a lot harder. So they hit harder and we hit harder in return. So it's a little more frantic. But we're always looking for new combat mods and looking for ways to improve combat. And Crush Boss is attempting to do that with Combat Evolved. And he does it by a combination of enemy AI, weapon increases as far as their stats go, and how they react, and adjusting some of the spell mods that they might use, or spells that they use in game. We'll just go in and take a look at the mod itself. It's on the Skyrim Nexus. You can see it here. I'll post the link to that below, but you can see it's Combat Evolved. And it comes down, and basically what it says, this is a light script-free combat mod and difficulty increaser. Now, he is saying that it is made to complement and work with the three major combat overhauls. As you can see, dual combat realism, deadly combat, and ultimate combat. It can be run with Skyrim Redone, or Skyri, and Asus, but there's some minor differences, and it doesn't reach its full potential. But he does this, and it won't conflict, and it'll be compatible with nearly everything because it says no NPC records, perks, or leveled lists are modified. Okay. And it's accomplished its magic, as he says, through combat styles, game settings, and NPC spells. Player spells are unaffected. Okay. So it makes the combat more realistic, difficult, and challenging. So the claim is that as you get above level 30, it will still be challenging and difficult to play. So we're just going to go do a few little tests in game and see a comparison between my Skyri basic adjustments and tweaks versus theirs, and we'll get some game footage of that. Alright guys, so this is just going to be the test with the Skyri combat enabled. You got a couple guys over here. So that wasn't too bad. Took a little hit there, but not too bad overall. You can see they're using fairly good use of their shields, were mostly aggressive, and were better than vanilla. So we're back now with Combat Evolved installed, and we'll see what happens. Trying to set this up. I'm going to have two antagonists. So I'm going to have two of them. We'll see what happens with two of them. Oh, so, attempt one, multiple deaths. So I'm going to try to set this up so we have the same situation. That guy's laying down, this guy's coming up. So, I think we'll be okay.
What was that?
So once again, two guys.
Gonna split your belly like an old turf.
They definitely hit harder. I'll say that much for them. There he comes. So it's pretty close. So, it seemed a little harder on that, so you saw that it kind of worked, but I had a much better advantage on them. Okay, and we're back to the desktop. So you can see my first attempt with those guys, I took them out pretty easily, and that was just the Skyrim footage. And then when I installed Combat Evolved, it was more difficult. To my opinion and my observation, they did use block more effectively. They were a lot more aggressive. They were combining their attacks. They were on top of me 100%. So there was no letting up, and it wasn't until the last attempt where I had some advantages and I was a little more effective in my blocking and my hitting overall to bring them both down. So, if you're interested in this mod, let's go ahead and go through and I'll show you how to install it. You want to go up to the Files page. And it says Combat Evolved, and you can go ahead and download it with Manager or download it manually. Let's go ahead and just download it with Manager, and hopefully it works this time. Go over and check our download manager. And as it works its magic. Okay, now it's downloaded the mod, so all we have to do is click on it and install it. Now the mod author makes it very clear that for right now, loot is probably not going to work so well for you, but what you want to do is install it after all your previous combat mods. For me, if you move it up to, let's see what the last one is, Skyrim Combat is the lowest mod that I have in my load order that affects the combat. So I think we want to put it right about there. Anything below this will not be affected. The reprocker, I would suggest going ahead and running that as well. But that's been covered in another mod, and we can just leave that as it be. So when you go back to the notes, just so you're aware that the load order, place this mod towards the end of your load order or after all combat, creature, and encounter mods and their patches. Requiem users should place Combat Evolved before Requiem in the load order. So that's the basic caveat. So all of your other combat mods listed here, basically put it after those mods. Okay, so that should be it. I'm still up in the air whether I'm going to use this. We're going to try it out, and I hope this tutorial was effective for you. And if you enjoy this mod, go ahead and endorse Crush Boss. I'm sure you would appreciate it. It's a new mod, and we're trying to see if he can get it into the hot files, as it were. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And this is Cal from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.
I took an arrow. I took an arrow.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
Then I took an arrow again.